Welcome to the Walaway. Everybody around Walaway here. And we're going to go straight into it. There's been some comments regarding MVPs, color of our MVPs in basketball, different treatment for players of different color, different treatment for players from different countries. So let's go directly into it and see what some of the NBA talk has been about this league, and let's break it down.
Why does European players not get the same flack for winning championships or not than U.S. American-born guys? For instance, I saw a list today Stephen A. put out, and it was like the players under the most pressure to win a championship. I think James Harden was 1, CP was 2, Jason Tatum was 3, Joker was 4. Joker has 2 MVPs. Joker has 2 MVPs. More than likely about to be a 3rd MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And he's older than JT.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that he's 4th, but JT's 3rd? And Luka wasn't even on the list, right?
So off the bat, I got some issues with this. He's saying, why do European players not get the same amount of spec that American players or American-born players get? And unfortunately, when I watched this clip the first time, I kind of knew where this was going. And Gilbert alludes to it, and Kendrick Perkins later on alludes to it. This seemed like it became like a black and white type of thing. Is that true, number one? Are we sure that European players do not get the same flack that American players do? How do we know that? What's the evidence? Was he there? Was Draymond there in Dallas when the Mavericks were not winning their championships? And was he reading the local papers? Does he have all the clips showing and highlighting when they weren't winning, and the criticisms that Dirk was getting? Was he around San Antonio when the Spurs weren't winning, when they should have been winning? And Ginobili was getting his flack for being injured, and Ginobili was getting his flack for being inconsistent, and Tony Parker was getting his flack for not having a jump shot. I think the sentiment is based off of a bias. The bias is not a surprise, and they're going to go after Jokic now. But Jokic is on the original list that Stephen A. Smith had. Their issue is, why is Jokic not higher on the list? Okay? James Harden has been in the league a lot longer than Jokic. CP3 is damn near 38 years old. Okay? And he's gotten injured a lot going into the postseason. They were in the finals a couple years ago. They didn't pull through. Why is there more pressure on someone like CP3? Because he's 38 years old. He's not going to be around in the NBA much longer. All right? And if we were nuanced, we would know that Jokic, he's been without his star-studded point guard for about 2 seasons. Jamal Murray missed about a season and a half to 2 seasons. So if you're going to be without your stud point guard, should you be expected to win the NBA championship? So what is the argument really about? So let's keep going.
Now, obviously, Luka's a little younger than JT, but...
Okay, let's stop right there. I do agree that I don't think Jason Tatum should have the same scrutiny that Jokic has. Some could argue that Boston has a better team. Some could argue Boston has more talent and has had more talent and different iterations of talent, and they've actually made it to the finals where they lost. Now, I could concede the argument and say, let's reverse the order of Tatum and Joker. Joker should be higher. I'm cool with that. Why is it bringing up Luka? Who has Luka had on his team that has warranted a championship? Luka damn near took the Mavericks to the finals last year. They made it to the Western Conference Finals with role players. So I'm not sure where this outrage is coming from.
I feel like over the years, European players has not had the same, caught the same flack of winning a championship as U.S. players, and I don't understand that. And I wanted to know if you feel the same way about that.
So let's stop again. Again, we talked about this in the beginning, so I'm not gonna belabor that point. What is the relative total percentage of European players compared to American-born players? It's going to be a very small minority. The point that I'm making is this. Let's say it was 50-50, and we can point out statistically that they're not catching the same flag. That there's an argument to be made that there's a bias, perhaps even a racial bias. If it's a small minority, their scrutiny should be representative, right? In terms of the total. So I don't think this is a good argument. The way it's been structured, it also makes it look very weak. Let's keep going.
It's really a knock, to be honest.
Mm.
Do they think that they're even capable of winning it by themselves?
Okay. So Gilbert is saying it's a knock on the foreign-born players, which I think is a ridiculous and sad argument. If it was a knock against them, they wouldn't be winning the MVPs. If it was a knock against them, they wouldn't be winning in the NBA Finals. Giannis, he is Nigerian, but he is also Greek, whether you want to accept it or not. He grew up in the Greek system. He got his first play in the Greek system. Foreign-born, MVP, has NBA Finals. Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. International accolades, 4 NBA championships, final MVP, Tim Duncan, U.S. Virgin Islands. He's not born in America. 5 NBA championships, multiple regular season MVPs.